but they've got big leaves that are rustling in the breeze. Swish. Actually, that sounds nothing like them. There's jam on my fingers, so the pen's sticky. I bet the cat's whiskers are too. Lloyd and Webber meowed as if they couldn't quite believe their luck that the sky was raining sandwiches when I chucked it over the hedge. I wasn't hungry anymore. In actual fact, I never was, and if I'm being honest, I only made the sandwich in the first place to put off starting this letter. No offence or anything, Mr. Harris. It's just difficult. And I'm tired. I haven't really slept since May the 1st. There's no danger of me dropping off in here. The box of tiles is digging into my thighs, and a draft is blowing through a gap underneath the shed door. I need to get a move on, because just my luck, the torch is running out of battery. I tried holding it between my teeth, but my jaw started to ache, so now it's balancing near a spiderweb on the windowsill. I don't normally sit in the shed, especially not at 2 a.m, but tonight the voice in my head is louder than ever before. The images are more real, and my pulse is racing, and I bet if my heart was attached to one of those hospital things, all the fast thumping would break it. When I got out of bed, my pyjama top was sticking to my back, and my mouth was drier than probably a desert. That's when I put your name and address in my dressing gown pocket and tiptoed outside. And now I'm here, face to face with all this blank paper, determined to tell you my secret, but not sure how to say it. Tongue-tied doesn't exist in writing, but if it did, like if my hand was a great big tongue, honest truth, it would be all tangled up in one of those complicated knots that only Scouts know. Scouts and also that man off BBC Two. You know, the one with wild hair who does survival programmes and ends up in the middle of the jungle sleeping up a tree and eating snakes for dinner. Now I come to think of it, you probably have no idea what I'm talking about. Do you have TV on death row? And if so, do you watch British shows or just American ones? I guess questions are pointless. Even if you wanted to write back, the address at the top of this letter is false. There's no Fiction Road in England. So, Mr. Harris, don't go thinking you can break out of prison and turn up out of the blue on my doorstep because you hitched a ride from Texas and you're looking for a girl called... Well, let's pretend my name is Zoe. I got your contact details off a death row website, and I found the website because of a nun, and that's not a sentence I ever thought I'd write. But then, my life isn't exactly turning out the way I'd imagined. There was a picture of you looking friendly for someone in an orange jumpsuit with a shaved head, thick glasses and a scar down one cheek. Yours wasn't the only profile I clicked on. There are hundreds of criminals who want pen pals. Hundreds. But you stood out. All that stuff about your family disowning you, so you haven't had any post for 11 entire years. All that stuff about your guilt. Not that I believe in God, but I went to confession to get rid of my guilt after triple-checking on Wikipedia that the priest wouldn't be able to say anything to the police. But when I sat down in the booth and saw his silhouette through the grill, I couldn't speak. There I was, about to confess to a man who'd never done anything wrong in his life, except for maybe having an extra sip of communion wine on a bad day. Unless he was one of those priests who fiddle with children, in which case he would have known all about sin, but I couldn't be sure, so I didn't risk it. You're much safer. And you sort of remind me of Harry Potter, to be honest. I can't remember when the first book came out, if it was before or after your murder trial. But anyway, in case you're confused, Harry Potter has a scar and glasses, and you have a scar and glasses, and he never got any post either. But then, all of a sudden, he received a mysterious letter saying he was a wizard and his life was miraculously transformed. Now, you're probably reading this in your cell, wondering, am I about to be told?